Hi everyone, it's me again. I've got another animal communication video for you. I'm just recording this while I'm out on a walk with my dogs. There's one. There's another one. Two birds, one stone. I thought it might be a little bit more interesting than me just sat down. Actually, I lied a little bit. I'm not recording it while I'm out on a walk with my dogs. I'm recording me talking to you while I'm out on a walk with my dogs. So I had a really nice animal communication session with a beautiful horse called Calypso. And his mum is a young girl called Misha, and her mum was there too. Now it was a really good animal communication session, but I just felt that we started recording it. We probably only recorded about 5 minutes of it just because Misha's only a young girl, and I felt like she was a little bit shy being recorded while we was doing the animal communication session, and that's not fair on her because at the end of the day the sessions are for her and her horse. They're not to make videos. I think that recording them are really good for my progress and also for people that find it interesting watching them and people that maybe want to have an animal communication session themselves. But predominantly I'm there to help her and her horse. So I only recorded about 5 minutes of it. So I'll let you watch it for those who just like watching it. And for those who want to know a little bit more about what came about, I will talk about it at the end. See you soon. I'm going to talk to your mum and your family about what you said and see what they think about things and see if we can find like a middle, somewhere in the middle for you both, yeah? Is that okay? This is what I wrote everything on, like a memory for you, yeah? Right, okay, so I'll tell you what he said so far. I don't know, it just feels scandalous. Right, here we go. Okay, so the first thing that he said, it's going to make me laugh. He said, I'm not trouble, I'm just a go-getter. He says that he's not always had things that he's wanted brought to him. Oh, and in some respects, he's had to be a survivor. So basically what he's trying to say, and he's saying that a lot of the time when you look at him, he's doing really naughty stuff in there. And he's saying, I'm not actually being naughty, it's just that the things that I really want, I don't always believe they'll come to me. So he kind of feels, I'm just going to go and do that, even if it means trampling you, or knocking you over, or biting you, which is really naughty, innit? But he's kind of trying to say, like, it's just because in the past, I mean, I don't think he's ever been abused or anything, but he's not always had the nice things that he has here. So that's what he's trying to kind of justify his behaviour. And then he said, right, so what he's saying is that above anything else, the thing that matters the most to him is you and your mum and your little sister and all his friends in the field. Like, that's what really, really matters to him. But because he's really hung up on, I don't know what's happened in his past, but he's not always had things that he has now, and he just can't, like, he can't let go of it. So he's like, I really don't want to hurt my mum and I don't want to hurt any of the other horses or upset them, but at the same time I feel that I can't get, if I want to go and eat that grass, no one's going to take me to it, I've got to go and drag someone over to it, kind of thing. Then what else was he saying? Oh yeah, then I said, well, what do you mean? And he gave me some examples. So he showed me him barging people out the way to go and get stuff. And to go where he wants to. Show that sometimes, not all the time, he drags you. But he was saying, I don't do it all the time, it's just like if I really want something, and you know, I just think, well, I just need to go and get that. He had quite a bit to say. Then he says, yeah, he said he don't do it all the time. So he said that he's kind of like triggered. And he said that sometimes it's around food as well. So he's like, he will just see something that will remind him of something. He's like, oh, so it's a different horse. And he just does things that you wouldn't always do. Like he'll be dead calm and the next minute he'll just do something really outrageous. And it's a lot about food. Let me just say what else he said about that. Right, now this is really important to him. So I think that Calypso spoke a lot about was trust. So, how would I say it? So do you have any ideas about trust? What he means by trust? No. So when you trust someone, it's when you have their best interest as your own. So I'm going to give an example of that. So say, like, suppose me and you were on a walk, right? And I knew you were scared of ducks. And I was like, well, I don't really care for people. So I'm going to make you come near the ducks because you're scared of them. I just don't really care about your interest. But if I were to create a trusting relationship with you, it'd matter to me that you were scared of the ducks. So I might say something like, well, you stay here and I'll go and see the ducks. So what he's kind of saying is, and we'll speak more about it at the end, it's that relationship where he doesn't quite trust that other people around him have got his best interests at heart. I'll give a really good example of my horse. So my horse Aspen used to be really naughty to be caught from the field, and I didn't really want him to come in, but I had to bring him in because they had to be brought in on this farm. And what would happen was he would just be really, really naughty in the field and I couldn't catch him at all. But actually, the bottom line was, I didn't really have his best interests at heart because he wanted to stay out. But at the same time, I couldn't put him out because he wasn't glad to stay out. But knowing now what I knew then, if I'd have just spoke to him and said, you know, this is how it is, he'd have realised actually I do care about him. So what he's saying is he knows that you care about him, and he knows that everyone cares about him, but this trust thing, like knowing that people want the best for him, he doesn't believe it yet. But we can talk at the end about some activities and things that you can do to help that trust. How do you feel that your trust is with him? You don't trust him, no. And it's probably because you don't think he's got your best interests at heart. For example, I mean, I don't know the things that have gone on, but I should imagine maybe if he wanted to canter while you're leading him, he's not really thinking, oh, I can't do that because it's going to hurt my mum, he's just going to do it and that'll probably hurt you. So that's the kind of thing that he's saying, but we can do some work around that. I think I'm going to end the video there because I'm just doing a really short one. Thank you if you're watching, and I'll see you later. Bye. Back again. By the way, I do find these little secluded walks. It's like a canal that's all dried up. I do like my little dog walks. There's Ryan. Ryan, say hello. Bitsy. Ooh. God, I nearly tripped up. Someone likes to think, what would happen if I'd have tripped up then? I get so distracted so easily. I don't know what my problem is. So anyway, right, so we did the animal communication session with Calypso, and basically I speak to the animal before I even get there, then I send them the information, and then we go through it together. So one of the things at the start of Calypso was saying, he was saying, oh, I'm not naughty, it's just that I haven't always got my needs met in the past, so I feel that I need to get them met for myself. And basically what he was kind of saying from that is kind of, if for example, if he really wanted some grass, although he loves his owner, he's just going to drag her to go and get the grass because he doesn't believe that she's going to just take him and get some grass, or he's always going to get turned out in the field and stuff like that. But then he was talking a lot about trust, and I'm going to explain something about trust. What trust is, it's when, prickles, it's not prickles, it's when you can trust somebody else to capitalise in your best interest. So for example, if I trust you, whoever's watching this, I trust you, right? So I trust that you're going to act in my best interest. So that could be, for example, if this is where it gets really hard because I can't think of an example. Well, let's do a horse instead, right? So let's do my dog, because we're at my dogs, right? So I trust that they're going to act in my best interest. So I'm going to trust that if I am brushing Rana, even if I get her to a knot, she's not going to bite me because she knows that biting me isn't in her best interest, right? Rana trusts me because she knows that I'm going to act in her best interest. For example, if I say to Rana, say suppose we're walking and there's some traffic coming by and she gets really scared and she might be bolting, right? So I'll say, no, stay, and I might get hold of her quite loosely, maybe by, you know, just holding on to her neck. She could get away if she wanted to, but she isn't going to run away, and she isn't going to get away because she knows that I'm asking her to stay still because I'm doing that in her best interest. I care about her, and she knows that she can trust me because I'm not going to say stay there if it's going to mean that it's going to end up hurting her. I hope I've explained this in a way that everyone can understand. If not, it's tough. I don't know. If you don't understand it and you really want to know more, I can do a video with a little bit more depth about it. So anyway, basically what he was saying is that he feels that he doesn't always trust her or anyone in general because he doesn't feel that they always act in his best interest. Now, this is a really common one in relationships with people, with each other, animals in general, but especially in horses, because we don't speak horse language, do we? And we get taught things and they're quite generic, really. We don't really get taught things for that specific horse often, and every horse is different. They're all different, aren't they? So here's a really good one. You might be riding your horse and there might be a bridge, a wooden bridge that you can go over, or there might be a river that you can go through. The horse might hate the sound of, hey, just as we got to the river, look at that for timing. So the horse might hate different textures under his feet. Like he might not like going over wooden things, or in general he might not like walking over things that he doesn't know what they are. So if I was thinking in my horse's in his best interest, I'd be like, all right, well, really all I want to do is get to the other side of this river, so let's go through the water because I know that you like to do that and you'll feel happier doing that. Now, what we often get taught is, no, they have to do what you say, otherwise they'll take the mickey out of you, they'll disrespect you, they'll end up hurting you, right? So what we might do is be tempted to try and make them go over the bridge, even though we know it's not in their best interest because they're scared to death to go over it, but we'll do that because that's what we've been taught to do. So, you know, the trust thing, it's a funny one. It's something that definitely I've taken on board now with my animals, especially my horses, is right, what really is in their best interest and what's in my best interest, and can we meet somewhere in the middle so that it helps the pair of us, right? So, and then the horse had said, she doesn't trust me either. And I said to Misha, do you trust him? And she was like, hell no, do I trust him? He's really unpredictable, he's bit me, he's kicked me, he's done all these things. Anyway, we carried on with the reading, and it was such a beautiful reading. We all ended up in tears. I was crying. Look at this. I've got to go down this hill. Wish me luck. I was crying. Nisha, the young girl, was crying, and her mum was crying. I don't think the horse was, but I think that he was definitely feeling the love. Because basically he was giving a really in-depth thing of how she feels and the love that they have together and the relationship they have together, and it was just so unique, the things that he was saying. It meant so much to Nisha and it meant so much to him, and I could feel the emotions of both of them, and Nisha and her mum knew exactly what he was talking about. So it was just really emotional. It was a really beautiful reading. But then we got to a part where the trust thing made this is really overgrown, I'm gonna have to turn around, but anyway, the trust thing kind of made more sense because he started to explain things. Now, me knowing a lot about horses knew what he was talking about. Now, usually I will just leave it as explaining what the animal thinks and their perspective on it, but in this circumstance I felt like it was really beneficial for me to take the next step and just explain a little bit more, because it's like a bloody jungle, because I think that they both needed that input. So basically, it was really interesting. So if you look at horses in a field, the lead horse is the one that's the boss. It's often quite mean to the other horses. I'm definitely not going through there. I'm turning round. Go on, you two. It's often quite mean to the other horses. It bites them, kicks them. It's only got to give one look at them and they shoot off. But that's the horse that they trust the most. It's the horse that they trust above all else. Now, with horses as well, when they interact with each other, whoever moves the feet first loses. Whoever can own their space and keep their position, their physical position, is the one that's generally in charge. Now, what Nisha was telling me was that he charges her. When she goes in the stable, he'll sometimes walk like out the tap room. He'll nip her, he'll rear up at her. He basically dominates her. But he was saying, I'm not naturally a lead horse. Now this is true, because if you have 30 horses in the field, there's only going to be one leader. So the majority of horses aren't leaders. So it was really important to her. He wanted her to establish that she was the leader. And what he was saying is, when I'm put in a position where I'm being the leader, when I'm dominating your movements, then I feel that I have to make decisions to keep us both safe. So it was just fueling even more this situation that was going on. Anyway, I shared all this with Nisha and her mum, and they have got in touch with a horse trainer who actually does liberty work. For those of you who don't know, liberty work is kind of it's where you control the horse's movements on foot without any reins or ropes. So you can stand here, your horse can be over there, and you control their movements and do different things. And it looks like magic, but actually the reason that you can achieve that is because you become the leader. So that horse then trusts you. It trusts that you have his best interests at heart, because they're a herd animal, they have to rely on each other. If a horse goes off solo, it's going to be a lot more vulnerable. So it's really important that they look after, I'm out of puff now, the well-being of each other. That's really important. So yeah, they've got this horse trainer coming in who does liberty work, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to really be able to help them. Aside from that, I really think that they're a really good match together, because Nisha really wants to do sports, you know, like jumping, stuff like that, a bit cross country, and this horse isn't really scared of anything. He's really very forward, and he doesn't want to be the leader, which is perfect for stuff like cross country, because you want a horse that isn't scared but is more than happy to take direction from you, because obviously you're going to be asking them to do some really hair-raising things that I would never bloody do on a horse. But you know, each to their own. You know, cross country, it's a pretty extreme sport, isn't it? So I think that they'll be an amazing pair. I think they've got a great future ahead of each other. We just need to iron out these few little things. I hope that this video was not too confusing and kind of made a bit of sense. I'm going to just show you a little bit where I am before I sign off. So this is where I live. We are just reaching, what is it? It's coming into autumn time now. Blitz and Rana, come here, come on. It's coming into autumn time now, so everything's starting to get a bit brown and orange and stuff. A little bit red like my cheeks. That blusher is maybe a bit heavy-handed, but hey ho, we live and work. We live and learn. I won't put as much on maybe next time. But anyway, it's not about my blusher, it's about Nisha and Calypso. What a cool name for a horse is that, Calypso. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more, there's lots more on my Swan Songs Animal Communication page on Facebook, and also on my YouTube channel, also named Swan Songs Animal Communication. I do videos explaining all about animal communication, emotional freedom technique, a little bit on Swan Song's rejuvenation process. I can't go into more detail about that just yet, because I need to get it written up and copywritten, because it's an amazing tool that can help a lot of horses and people. Potentially it's going to help a lot of horses and people all around the world, but I need to get it copyrighted and protected so that its practitioners can use it properly in the way it's meant to be used. So I also have videos on animal communication, little snippets of different kinds of horses, different kinds of animals. Next week I'm quite excited. I'm doing a video on a barn cat. So this lady moved onto the stable, and there was like a, you know, barn cats, that kind of semi-feral cats, or feral cats that live outside. And this cat's fell in love with her and her family, and she's decided to adopt it. So I'm going to do a video on that. We're going to the woods now. Should we just do nature videos instead of animal communication ones? I'm not really sure. Maybe not. I don't know anything about nature. other than it's beautiful. Anyway, how many times have I said anyway I'm going? I actually am going this time. Have a lovely day, evening, night, sleep, wherever you are, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi, this is Future Stephen. I'm here to save the day because those examples that I gave were absolutely pants and didn't really make much sense. They did in my simple mind, but to everyone else, they probably didn't make much sense. So I'm going to attempt to give you some more examples on what I mean by trust. So trust is when you can trust somebody to capitalise on your best interest. So an example could be if you and your best friend are going to a restaurant, you know that if you're allergic to pizzas or you don't like pizzas, your best friend is not going to go to a pizza place because you don't like them, because your best interest, you enjoying your food and your meal, means something to her. That's important to her. It could be if you're in work, one of your really good colleagues is not going to steal your ideas to progress their career, because that's not capitalising on your best interest. Your really good colleague is probably going to tell everyone else how brilliant your ideas are and let you take credit for them. With animals, it could be when you get a trusting relationship with a horse, that horse might stand there even though it's a bit nervous if a double-decker bus is coming past, because that horse knows that it can trust you and what you're asking it to do. You're never going to ask it to do anything that's going to put it in danger, because you're always going to capitalise on its best interest. With a dog, see if I can think of one with a dog. An example of a dog that builds a trust. Suppose you get a dog and at first when you get it, it doesn't trust people and it cowers all the time and it wheezes whenever you raise your voice and stuff like that. After a while, once the dog knows that you will, again, capitalise on their best interest, they're not going to get nervous when you shout, and they're not going to be weeing and cowering every time you walk into a room. So that's what I mean by trust. So yes, that's my final example. I hope you've enjoyed this iggledy-piggledy video. Honestly, it's scandalous, but I'm not a professional. Maybe one day I might be. It's late for me now, so I'm definitely going. It's that late I've even washed my makeup off, but it's okay because I have a filter and a ring light. Take care, everyone. Bye. I really need to let this go now. Honestly, I do realise at this time that I'm like a dog with a bone. But anyway, I thought, another example, probably the best example that I've thought of. Surgeons. Why do we let surgeons chop us up? Because we believe that they're capitalising on our best interest. We believe that everything that they do, hacking us up and stuff, is to help us, not to kill us. So yeah, that was my final example.